Alrighty, getting started very soon. There's just some things I have to adjust and then I'll be ready. Just my posture mainly, so my expressions come across well on the stream. Actually, I might have to adjust it really quick. One sec. It's just on the fritz right now. Okay, it should be good. Oh, wait. Man, I'm having a bit of a cough right now. I should be good there. Alright, yeah. I have to close something I'm watching. One sec. Close some other things might be hogging up some CPU as well. Actually, you know what? I think it should be good. Just open chat. Alright, I think we're... Wait. Yeah, we're good. Okay. So there's just one last thing I wanted to check, and I was able to confirm that it's working. But hey! Hello, everyone. Hope you've been having a good Thursday. I've been having a good Thursday myself. Tonight, I'll be doing some more Scorn speedruns. For those that don't know, I'm running this game for a marathon in about a little less than a month. I'll be running this category that I'm about to play for you all tonight, a DSJ mod. It's a pretty fun category with a lot of really interesting speedrun skips in it. It's a lot of fun to do. As you can see, it's a little under a half hour. And my goal tonight is to try to get a run under 27 minutes. Because as you can see, my PB is a 27:35. And I want to try to get well below 27 minutes. Which I think I'll be able to do tonight. Because I was doing runs the other day. And I was able to get a run that was on pace to get under 27 minutes. And then I just royally messed up on the last level. So the potential's there, I just need to not heck up, basically. And I'll be fine. Because actually with this category in particular, I'm very consistent at a lot of the tricks. So overall it should go smoothly, but of course, we'll see how our runs go. So there is one trick I want to practice before we actually get started with runs, and that's Act 5 right here. Because Act 5 is a some really difficult out-of-bounds platforming. I've not gotten entirely used to it on this new computer. So that's what this practice session is for. So real quickly to explain what the DSJ mod actually is. The DSJ mod, by the way, stands for Double Speed Plus Jump. And it allows me to do a few things. For starters, I can run at double the normal movement speed that I would have if I was playing without mods. So you can see I'm running really fast. I also have the ability to jump by just pressing spacebar, just like that. This allows for a lot more skips in the game because normally there's a lot of invisible walls that you can't go over, but you can pretty easily get over them with the jump, just like that. And Act 5 here is normally a pretty long act. By the way, this game is separated into 5 acts, with acts 1 through 3 being in 2 parts each. But you can actually just skip straight to the end of the act. How you do that is first, you do a jump to get on top of this invisible wall right here. And if you jump around the left side of this pillar, just like that, you'll end up on this small invisible ledge surrounding this little pillar right here. Normally you'd have to do 3 phases of a boss fight or so. And then you'd activate these 2 platforms, which would then raise up. So you then be able to interact with that thing over there to do a pretty gross cutscene. But we can actually just jump up here by jumping up on some invisible geometry. There is a tool you can use to see where the geometry is. I don't have it enabled right now because I already know where the geometry is. But there's a tool you can use to view the geometry, and there's a lot of invisible collision surrounding this bridge right here. Use that to jump up, just like that. That jump in particular that I just did to get on top of that bridge is actually kind of hard, so I'm glad that I got that for sure. And the rest of it isn't too bad. We just have to go over here. Well, I say it's not too bad because I'm used to it, but it is actually pretty hard. So there's some collision surrounding this. You can see this little lip right here that goes into this center room, or center part of the room where it goes down to that hole. There's some invisible collision there you can jump on top of. Same thing here, you jump another level up. And you can see we're on top of this gigantic invisible wall surrounding this little circle in the middle of the room. And what we want to do now is jump over there where I'm pointing the camera, which is a little tricky, but again, I'm used to it. There we go, just jump over there like that. We have to jump up a little bit more, so we end up on this collision here. And when I was doing runs, this is where I goofed, because the other day when I was doing a run, that run I was talking about, that was sub 27 or below 27-minute pace, I accidentally overshot this jump and ended up falling out of bounds just like this. And the thing is, because my speedrun in this category is so optimized at this point, especially with the category is now, any like bit of falling out of bounds like that or dying or whatever, that's an immediate reset. Because you lose so much time that it's just you're just not able to PB at that point. Which is kind of the annoying thing about DSJ. Like I am consistent at the skips, but the moment I make any sort of screw up, it's just immediately over. Pretty much. So better hope that doesn't happen. There we go, we got the jump on the bridge. Over here. On this invisible collision. There we go. So we want to go over here, and you can see we just gotten out of bounds. There's this little bit of collision surrounding the left side of this wall. We just want to edge ourselves along that. I'll just be pointing my camera at the wall here and pressing forward, or W in my case. Make sure that I don't fall out of bounds, but I'm still traversing this geometry here. There we go. We didn't fall out of bounds. That's good. So once I've gotten here, I'll back up a little bit, because otherwise if I just go over here to this corner, I can't jump. But if I back up a little bit, I can jump. So I'll jump a little bit up there to get on this geometry on the edge of the wall, so that I can then go down here. There's a couple different ways you can do this. You can either jump right over there where that pillar is, where you can drop down. I prefer to drop down, so I'll go ahead and do that. Just very carefully edge myself down, because if I fall down too much here, I can soft lock. Well, I think I'm at a good spot so that I won't soft lock. So now I'm going to try to jump over there, again, where that pillar is. There we go. So again, I've ended up on some invisible collision that's just in front of this pillar, and it's just short enough that I can jump on it, or just long enough rather, so I can jump on it. So I've landed there, so I'll jump again, going up on top of this pillar. I'll jump over here, or you can fall down here, that works too. And this is the ending section of the game. Around, like a little further down this runway, right around here where that white orb is the end trigger for the game, which starts the ending cutscene. So it's very convoluted, as you can see, and in a run I have to do all that really fast in order to save time. So it's a very hard trick, but we should be fine as long as I don't heck up the first part of it. Alright, so I think given that long-winded explanation of that act, which I think was pretty detailed, hopefully you enjoyed that, we can go ahead and start to do runs. So let's get going. I do want to note as well, for those that haven't seen this game before, and especially for those that are new to the stream, this game does get pretty graphic in terms of its gore, so little notice in advance for those that are squeamish. I should raise the game volume as well. There we go. Should be able to hear it a bit better. Also, depending on how quick I get a PB here, however long that ends up taking, or however long it takes me to get a completed run, I guess is a better way of phrasing it, I might end up cutting the stream short. Because I typically don't run this game very long at a time, given that it is a pretty short category. Let's get moving. Like I was saying earlier, I'll double the movement speed, which helps out a lot for going fast. I believe I enabled the auto splitter, but we'll see.
The battle begins.
Yep, there we go. That just makes it so that whenever I start an act, it'll automatically split for me, which is really nice. So because we have the ability to jump, we can just jump right here. That doesn't look like much, but that skips a tutorial where the game teaches you how to do puzzles. So it's around a minute or so right away. Very good time save. Okay, now we have a puzzle coming up. Because there's a character we need to interact with for a puzzle. His name is colloquially known in the community as Steve. We have to do a quick puzzle to free him from a pod that he's stuck in right now. And there's a fast solution for this puzzle that I'm going to try to do here. I also noticed that the camera is a little zoomed in. Normally when I play this game, I have the FOV jacked way up. But because I did that skip at the beginning, the FOV is a little wonky right now. So it's gonna look a little zoomed in for the time being, but it is gonna fix itself pretty soon. I have the movements memorized, by the way. Just need to go through the motions. Oh, whoops. Never mind. Maybe I don't have them memorized. That was a little movement goof. I accidentally moved the cursor up one when I didn't mean to. Not entirely optimal, but I still did pretty well there, I feel. So by doing that puzzle, we've now freed Steve. We're now going to use him to get a bracelet like the one we got earlier. Just open a door. And there's a couple of options for what to do with Steve here. You can either remove Steve from his pod and have him walk over to get a bracelet to open the door, or you can botch removing Steve from the pod, killing him, and you get his arm, and you use that to get a bracelet. Like I was saying, this game does get pretty gruesome, and this is the first example of that here. Nice. Yeah, because it moves so fast, in instances like that where you're like wanting to drop off a ledge just a little bit, you have to be kind of careful with how far you can move forward, otherwise you might end up going flying. All things considered, though, that was actually pretty clean, I feel. It was like a couple seconds slower than like my idea of a really good pace, but still pretty clean. Didn't really get hung up on the jumps over the invisible walls there. Because there's a few invisible walls I just jumped over, by the way, with the DSJ mod. And you can lose a bit of time to attempting to go for the jump, but then you actually don't make it over the invisible wall, and you have to jump again, which is pretty slow. But yeah, with this category, like I think I kind of mentioned this earlier, it's very optimized where it is right now, so the chances of me being ahead are kind of low, to be honest, but there are a couple of points where I have a lot of time to save. To the point where even if I'm behind a little bit at the beginning here, I could still very well end up PBing by a lot later on. You also see as we go into this next room that it's a little deloaded. Because we went through the previous area so fast, the game didn't have time to load this room. So a lot of the textures are just deloaded. I've played this game before though, so I can tell when I can let go of things to get the fastest possible interactions. Like letting go of that cart where I was pushing Steve. I have a pretty good visual cue for that. If I try to free Steve from the pod, but whoops, doesn't quite work out. That's okay, because we have his arm. That's the important part. There we go. So we'll grab his arm, put a bracelet on that, so we can progress in this act. Spoilers, we're not actually going to complete the act the normal way. We're going to do a skip to try to skip some of it or avoid some of this act, because normally you'd have to use this bracelet to open the door, but we're going to avoid doing that here. It's pretty tricky out of bounds overall, but it's not too bad. Oh no! Okay, that sucks. So what happened there is I was trying to jump over to get to that ceiling, but I jumped a little too late. So the game ate my jump and I just fell out of bounds. So unfortunately I have to restart the run. Which is not too bad, because honestly resets in DSJ are pretty quick. But it is still kind of annoying losing a run to that sort of thing. Just Act 1-1 is so slow. And you have a really hard trick at the end of it. Well, it's not terribly hard, but it is still kind of annoying.
The battle begins.
That's fine. Because you have access to jumping with this mod, on that elevator where you're jumping up, or where you're going up, you can jump on the lip of the elevator and exit about a second or two early. But I had a brain fart and forgot to do it there, so lost a couple seconds, but that's fine. It's a very minor time save. Yeah, even if I don't get a PB tonight, I'm honestly fine with whatever run I get. I just want to get a completed run. Because mainly want to get practice in for the marathon I'll be running for. Which I honestly probably shouldn't make a command for, but the marathon is Shots Fired Domination. Put a link to it on Twitter sometime soon. Probably right after the stream, so you guys can find it. Yeah, it's a marathon based entirely around, or mainly around, a shooting type games. And of course, this game is. It definitely checks those boxes, even though we don't do too much combat in this category in particular. I'll be running Scorn for that. Should be a lot of fun. As DSJ mod is a very fun run. The ability to jump in combination with being able to sprint really fast definitely adds a lot of ratting possibilities into the game. And it makes it really fun to run. I have done runs of the vanilla version of this without mods as well, but I just prefer running DSJ mod more. Wait, no, I'm stupid. I don't need to interact with that. That's a definite reset. See, that's the annoying thing with running this category. Really with any speedrun. There's little bouts like that where I just have a huge brain fart. I forget what I'm supposed to do. That's okay, we can just do a quick restart. It was only about 4 or 6 minutes in. It's not too bad.
The battle begins.
Another thing with this game, besides just, doing skips really cleanly, like the out of bounds I was trying to do earlier, it's just having really clean interaction animations. Because as this is a survival horror game, Um, when you interact with things, there's of course an animation where you interact with the thing. In that case, that mechanism where I was getting the bracelet. Oh, wait, oh, that's something. That's fine. Like in that case, there was that interaction where I got the bracelet. Um, Whenever you start one of those interactions, it like depending on how close or far you are from the thing you're trying to interact with, the game will try to pull you towards it. Of course, that animation where it pulls you is slow. So we typically try to avoid that by being as close to the thing we want to interact with, in that case the bracelet giver, as we can, so we don't get pulled over as much and therefore don't lose as much time trying to interact with it. It's very minor in this category in particular, but it plays a pretty big role in the non-modded any percent. Because you can kind of probably saw how I got like pulled over a little bit and I was trying to interact with that bracelet giver. That's what you want to try to avoid for the most part. Have I moved it over fully? Gosh darn it. Any part of this puzzle right now, my gosh. Yeah, pretty good puzzle, but it could have been maybe a couple seconds faster, I think. Few seconds behind my ideal pace, but that's okay. Still doing really cleanly so far. No big mistakes, I think. So, quick note, because the geometry is invisible because of all the skipping I've been doing so far, it's actually a little hard to see where to go once I grab Steve's arm here, but I'm used to it, so it isn't too bad. But of course, accidentally grabbed Steve again like a moron, so I have to reset. One day I'll actually not friggin' blank out like that and actually do the puzzle properly. Eventually we'll get there.
The battle begins.
Alright, cool. Pretty clean puzzle. See if we can keep that pace going. Yeah, that's the thing with DSJ mod. Since it is really optimized by this point, it's a pretty reset heavy category. But since I am pretty consistent at it, it usually doesn't go too bad. It's just the minor optimizations where I end up resetting, especially in Act 1-1, because it's an extremely tight act. It's pretty quick there, I think. Get stuck on the collision there, that's good. Alright, this looks good. It's gonna be loaded this time, or if it's gonna be deloaded. Because with how fast this computer loads the game, it's usually half and half, although it looks like it's not loaded here. Typical. Right, let's not accidentally grab Steve's pot again like we did last time. That'd be ideal. Good. Didn't accidentally grab Steve's pot this time. We're safe. Pick up the out of bounds this time. Oh, what? Are you serious? How'd that not make it? I'll continue that, but that's a pretty big time loss. That's like at least 5 seconds. That sucks. But that's fine. I'll take that. Not unsalvageable, but it still kind of stinks. Because, like, what makes that so hard is you have a very thin ledge to be able to walk on while out of bounds there. So if you make one little misstep, like I did right there, you can just fall out of bounds. Or fall back in bounds, rather.
What happened?
Looks like we only had a net loss of almost 4 seconds, so not too bad. Like I said, it's not unsalvageable, but it still kind of sucks that happened. Because I would prefer to be at least a little bit ahead, or like not very far behind at all in the first split, but with this game, with this category being as optimized as it is, time losses like that are kind of expected. I'll take that though. That was still pretty clean either way. There's definitely a few seconds I can save in this split in particular. Because my Act 1, 2 in my small PV here wasn't exactly the best. So also because we skipped opening the door, Steve's arm is still attached to our hand. Don't worry about it. And I got stuck. Good job, me. So that's what I get for yabbering on about like little funny things, little funny glitches that appear in the run. I just get distracted and accidentally bonk into a wall. There's still, I think, 8 seconds I can save on Act 2 1. Because the clip to get into Act 2 2, it did kind of sloppily, so I can definitely save a bit of time there. This puzzle in a specific order, we do this middle capsule first. That's roughly a half-second faster. Because once we move this capsule holder here, after we insert this first one, or this first capsule, the capsule holder will already be right there where the second capsule is on the right. So that's a little time save there. I did a little goof there. That's okay though, that only lasts like maybe half a second at the most. Couple seconds find where I'd like to be, but that's fine. Like I said, lots of time I can save later, so any amount I'm behind here isn't that big of a dent in the overall run. Because like the first couple acts especially are so optimized that it's very hard to save time, even if you perform really well. That's alright though. Yeah, getting past the first two acts, or first act, since it is roughly half the run, is generally a W. That's the really boring part of the run with
What happened?
like one skip in between. So yeah, we lost nearly a couple seconds there, but that's all right. Again, still plenty of time to save later. In fact, there's 8 seconds on this act in particular. Oops, excellent. There we are. This is one of those scenes where if you're at all squeamish, you'll definitely want to look away. Because we'll basically be pulling an umbilical cord out of ourselves to actually be able to move. That's my yawning face, just like... Definitely not suggestive in any way whatsoever. There it is right there. Actually have movement, and we'll be running through this desert area. Pretty straightforward, not too much that we can do here to skip things. It's mainly just taking clean lines as we run along here. It's nice because with how fast we move in this mod, you end up cutting off a minute, or you end up cutting a minute off of how long a vanilla run or non-modded run would take to get to this area. So gonna take a little cut to the trouble here, very slight time save. So trying to get into this big facility that's off to my left. Also, in case, just real quick, in case anyone's wondering my stream or PC specs for the new computer, they're below the stream. So if you want to take a gander at them, they're right there. Alright, so I'm going to try to jump into a pretty precise fitted collision. Hopefully I get it. Nice. Didn't get stuck on that one. That's good. That jump can be pretty tricky to line up. Hello? Of course I got stuck because this game is a fucking meme. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna practice Act 2 1 because there's no way I messed it up like that. That is stupid. It's like literally just jump into that wall and then you clip into the area where the second part of Act 2 starts. Because again, Acts 1 through 3 are each split into two parts. Once we got clipped inbounds, we would have been at the end of Act 2 1. There's a checkpoint would have hit that would have started Act 2-2. But in the process of trying to clip back in, I got stuck and soft locked, which is not great. We preferably want to avoid that. I just want to do a bit of practice to try to get used to the movement for this part again. Because like I said, I'm pretty consistent at this run. It's just there's some bits that are kind of annoying. This is one of those. Like, I got the jump into the bit of collision I was trying to get on top of. It's just, I missed the jump to get back in bounds. Or to clip through the wall, I mean. see if I jump to the right here. Go twice on top of this bit of collision. There we go. That's what I was trying to do. I guess what happened the first time is I jumped a little too far left. And I got stuck because of it. That's fine though. We can just reset. About an hour and a half more for runs, so it's not too bad that something like that happened. With how short this category is, I definitely have plenty of time for runs. That's... Ugh, I'm upsetty. I can't complete a run tonight. Well, hopefully we can. You know, like honestly, once we get past the really hard, honestly, once we get past Act 2, the run isn't that bad. Like there is Act 5, but I'm pretty good at it, so it's not too much of a worry. It's just Act 2.
The battle
It's
begins.
a big pain in the ass, pretty much. I guess the Act 1 skip too, but even then, Act 1 skip isn't, or the Steve skip as we call it, isn't that big of a deal. something in his pod, and we're just gonna end up murdering him. Which I know is kind of gruesome, but that really is what we end up doing to poor Steve here. A bit of collision there, that's fine. Only wasted like half a second, maybe. What? It ate my jump again. Which fell out of bounds. I need to like do that jump really early, otherwise I just miss it. It's kind of annoying. And the thing is, I need to get that jump first try, otherwise I lose a lot of time. Because the last checkpoint I hit in that section is right before I rip out Steve's arm from the machine. So that would set me back at least 15, if not 20 seconds. It's really slow. So that's the thing that kind of sucks about Act 1-1. It's a very slow chapter, but because of the skip at the end, with the Steve skip, or the Steve out of, or Steve's arm out of bounds, I guess I should say, that's very reset heavy. Which kind of sucks, but hey, nature of the beast with this category. If I'm a little pressed for time and we still haven't gotten past Act 1-1, I might just do a no reset run and see what kind of time we get. I don't know, we'll see how runs pan out tonight.
The battle begins.
Pretty good puzzle there. That was pretty clean execution, I think. Didn't really make any missteps in that puzzle, so that really was pretty clean. It's like my sum of best is only 8 seconds off the world record. Making very good progress on that side. Gotta have really clean execution and we'll get there, pretty sure. Good clean movement of the cart there. This might be really fast. The kind of time I get when I grab Steve's arm. If it's sub 650 when I grab Steve's arm here, that's really dang good. So this feels really, really clean up to this point. I have really clean exit times when going out of the interaction with the cart. I was sub 1 on the sub 650 on the arm. That's sick. Really good. Oh, what? Okay, you can get stuck there. We're on good pace. Also, I have to touch that door to hit a trigger. That's why I go back there. But yeah, very good pace. This could gold, but I don't want to give any guarantees. This first act, Act 1-1, is very tight in terms of execution at this point. Especially if you're wanting to stick 10 for the world record. Like I'm somewhat aiming to. Just a really tight split in general. Okay, so we won't quite gold, but we'll be very dang close.
Well done.
Very good split there. That was like a second off gold, actually. That was crazy. Alright, now we just have to not soft lock in Act 2-1 like I did, unlike what I did before. Honestly, like, it's like I was saying earlier when I practiced that part, it's not that bad. I just accidentally went too far left and got stuck in the wall and couldn't move. So as long as I get that part down, we should be fine. Act 2 isn't too bad. Because it is a pretty hard skip, but I have a setup for it, so should be okay there. Should add a command, I think, for explaining what the DSJ mod is. I'll probably do that once I complete this run, or if the run dies, either one. Because those that aren't familiar with this category probably don't even know what the heck DSJ is. So I probably should add that. But again, I'll do that as soon as I can. Very good pace up to this point. Very clean so far. If I did it extremely tight, this might even be a gold. But we'll see about that. Oh, what? My guy, go over the barrier there. So that was a little slow, but so not quite gold, but still very, very clean. I missed a little jump over that pedestal that I was on, so I lost like a second, but it's not too big of a deal. Dang, there's over 2 seconds off my goal.
Well done.
Still very good split though. That was pretty clean, besides that little mess up on the pedestal. Just browsing Twitter while this cutscene plays, because it does go on for about a couple minutes. Ah, no stinger. There's a little bug that happens with this cutscene. I don't know why it happens, but sometimes that there's supposed to be some music there that plays when you pull the umbilical when our character pulls the umbilical cord out there in that little bit. And sometimes, for some reason, again, I don't know why, it just doesn't play. We got that bug there. Uh-oh. Um, this should still be safe, I think, because I can just jump back up here. Maybe not? Oh, there we go. Alright. So I lost a bit of time, but again, not